The poem I've chosen to read tonight is a small little poem. It's about by a guy called Nikos Karadias. Now, and just before I read that, I have a very small little poem by a poet called Yanis Ristos. It's really small, really short, and it's called Abstracted Painter. A painter one afternoon drew a train. The last carriage cut away from the paper and returned to the car barn all by itself. In precisely that carriage sat the artist. I think that was that. This poem I'm reading is by Nikos Karadias. Nikos was he was born in 1910, actually in Manchuria. But his dad worked in, he worked there for a number of years. But Nikos and family moved back to Greece when he was 7. And they moved to an island called Kefalonia. Maybe some of you know it. It's in the Ionian Sea. That's the one right on the west coast of Greece. Right on the east coast of Greece. He joined the Merchant Navy in 1929, and he, over the years, wrote several poetry books. A lot of them have a sort of a nautical theme to them. And he died in Athens in 1975. And the short poem I'm reading sort of has not a nautical theme, but you can see where it came from. Probably during his travels with the Merchant Navy. And the poem is entitled A Knife. Thrust in my belt, I always carry with me a small steel knife made deep in Africa, like those which the Arabians like to wield, bought from some second-hand dealer in Algiers. I remember as though it were today how that old merchant looked, like some old Goya oil, erect by long swords and tattered uniforms, telling me this strange story in a hoarse voice. This knife here, which you say you want to buy, legend has wrapped with most peculiar tales, for all here know that everyone who once has worn it has soon killed someone dear to him. With this knife, Don Basilio killed his Julia, his lovely wife, because she played him false. With this knife, Count Antonio, one dark night, killed his unfortunate brother secretly, an Arab his young mistress jealously, and some Italian sailor, a Greek coxswain. From hand to hand it fell into my hands. I've seen much, but this makes my blood run cold. Look closely. Here's an anchor, a coat of arms. Hold it, it's light. It weighs no more than a quarter. But I'd advise you to buy something else. How much? 7 francs. Then take it, since you want it. Thrust through my belt, I wear a small stiletto. Some strange quirk maybe make it mine. But since there is no one I hate enough in this world to kill, I'm afraid I'll turn it on myself one day. Thank you.
From the Loughrea creative writers, we welcome Ray Gately.
My connection to Greece really was a fantastic holiday in Crete once, and the sun shone all the time, and this has got culture and history in spades, literally. And this is a short poem. It's about relationships, and it's about life and death, and joy and sorrow, and the cusp between It's called Nikos Karadias, and it's by a poet called Athos Dimoulas. When one leaves, the other arrives. Always in opposite directions we move. And there, on the frontier of life and death, every day, the one with sensations decaying, the other with reborn sensations, we face each other. For us, neither life has any attractions, nor death any pain. Precious the ordained time between day and day. Our aim is the moments of encounters in endless succession. The sorrow of fleetingness, in its infinite repetition, our joy, the borderline.
And from the Loughrea creative writers, Connolly. Moving on, the poem I choose is called Tonight the Sea. And it's by a poet called Yorgos Sarantharis. Now I must admit, I didn't know the guy. In fact, I never heard of him, but I picked up this beautiful book in the library here that was given to us. And I was fascinated. And the one thing about tonight, I will be coming back here to read some of the modern poetry of Greece. Because all I read originally was, books on ancient history of Greek and the civilization. But I must say this was, and I just picked it for the way it sat on the book and the words. Tonight the sea lifts up rocks from her depths, lifts houses, lifts spurs, lifts trees. And the roads come clean, leading from land to the air. Melodies lead the way, the waves follow, time is on fire. Day advances like a star, not yet born. From the clouds, children throw down poles. Better to walk without fear. Better not to stop at sleep. To sing, but without hurrying. And as long as it is still light, our voice must not finish. And the world around a superb breath. Thank you.